Hey, Luke, it's MVNO time.
It is.
We've been doing this for a couple of months now.
Mm-hmm.
Every Saturday, it seems,
Yeah.
we put out some content around mobile virtual network operators.
Yeah.
If you've been listening to the series, we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sticking with us and listening and subscribing, sharing, whatever you're doing to help us. But if this is your first time and the headline of this brought you here and you thought, I need to know more about what they're talking about today,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about a specific wireless carrier
Yeah.
known as Pure Talk.
Pure Talk. Yeah.
So it's an MVNO, which basically, to kind of set the table for that, it's a carrier that has its own billing, its own rate plans, its own phone options,
Yeah.
and customer service, all of these things. The only thing it doesn't have of its own is network infrastructure.
Right.
The actual towers, the carriers, rely on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Pure Talk relies on, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell us a little bit about them. MVNOs are a good option as a alternative to Verizon, AT&T,
Right.
and T-Mobile. Often much less expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but just as valuable to a lot of users.
Yeah.
So what we'll do here is just kind of go through a couple of questions that we kind of do to paint a broad picture
Mm-hmm.
and tell you a little bit about the carrier and maybe help you make an informed decision as to whether to maybe investigate a little bit more or kind of look in a different direction.
Sure.
So Luke, tell us about Pure Talk.
Yeah.
Who do they rely on for their network for coverage?
So they have agreements set up with AT&T. So if you have AT&T service already, or if you're familiar with AT&T service and their coverage, you will get the same thing from Pure Talk.
Okay.
Now, with all MVNOs, what that usually means is in a period of high traffic or, sometimes if there's network shortages or something, which rarely ever happens, but those AT&T customers would get preferential connection to the towers over Pure Talk. Again, that rarely happens, but the Pure Talk subscriber would use AT&T service.
Okay. So along with that, is that AT&T, is it 4G or does it have access to AT&T's 5G network?
They do have 5G. All the plans include 5G data.
Okay.
Now, we'll get into a little bit more of what the coverage is or what the price plan. But if you're using data, if you go over your data allotment, you would be lowered to a lowered speed on that service. So you would get 5G for your 1, 2, 4 gigs, whatever. But if you use up to that, then you'll be throttled down to something like 2 gig.
Okay. So it's like a pretty much any other carrier. Instead of hitting you with overage fees, you still have access.
Yep.
And it's just slower.
Yeah. So you'll never lose service and you'll never have overages. You just might not have the same exact service.
Okay. And if you're a person who relies on Wi-Fi for much of your connection,
not a problem.
You may never see that problem.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the rate plans and
Sure.
what you might get for the money.
So for a single line plan, you're going to start unlimited talk and text on all the plans. For a single line, you start at 4 gigs a month, and that is $20.
Okay.
So you would get 4 gigs at 5G speeds, and then anything over that would be down to a lower speed, and that's $20 a month.
Okay. So if I want to bring my wife to this and I think,
Sure.
this is a great option. Can I
Sure.
do that? Like, are there
You
family
can.
plans?
So you can add multiple lines. They have pricing for up to 4 lines on their website. Actually, if you do 2 or more lines, you can get an even lower plan. You can get 2 gigs a month of data,
Okay.
and that starts at $18 per line.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of a discount. 2 lines together would be about $36. But you get half of the data service.
Okay. But if I'm somebody that is used to, say, 10 gigabytes of data,
Right.
then, my wife would also have 10 gigabytes.
Mhm.
We're looking at what? monthly?
Like $63 a month.
Total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, see, and that's one of the things where you consider an MVNO compared to somebody like AT&T proper is AT&T may also give you these other benefits or value kind of baked into the price.
Right.
Where you may not use it or appreciate it. And it's just kind of there, but you're paying for it a little bit.
You're paying for it whether you use it or not. So, yeah, and MVNO, most of the time, they're just stripping away all the fluff and kind of giving you, here's your data, here's your talk, here's your text, and here's the price.
So if I'm on AT&T now and decide, man, this actually looks like it would save us some money.
Yeah.
Can I just switch to them and say, hey, I've already got phones?
Yeah, you can. So the phone has to be unlocked.
Okay.
And, Pure Talk will not unlock the phone. So you'd have to talk to AT&T if you have AT&T or whoever that device manufacturer is to get the phone unlocked. And then it should work.
Okay.
So it has to be an unlocked GSM phone.
Okay.
And you can either, check with, when you sign up for the Pure Talk service, there is a £06 that'll check your IMEI and tell you if it's compatible. On their website, they don't have a way to check your serial number, your IMEI, to find out. But what they say generally is if it's an unlocked GSM phone from AT&T or T-Mobile, it should work.
And that's the other thing is buying the phone. If I, maybe I don't have an AT&T phone that I'm bringing, but I'm considering, I saw Motorola has one on their website. Yeah. Or OnePlus or Samsung even. I'm purchasing it outright unlocked. Then I could just take it straight there.
Yeah, you should. Now, the other thing is they also offer phones to purchase.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go with Pure Talk and let's say you had Verizon, you can get a phone from Pure Talk. They're going to be Samsung, Nokia. They have some Apple devices too.
Okay.
But they're generally going to be usually a year or two old. So you're going to be looking at you're not going to get the latest and greatest. They're still great phones. They're still going to do most of the things you want. But if you are a person looking for the super high-end phone, you're going to be looking at buying one unlocked for yourself and bringing it into Pure Talk, or maybe if you have one through, AT&T or something and you switch over, you can use it there.
Okay. So you mentioned bringing it into Pure Talk. Can I go to a Pure Talk store?
So no, bringing it in meaning bringing it into their service. There is online only. Okay. So most MVNOs we see are this way. If you have a problem with their service, or if you need service from them, you're going to be signing up online.
Okay.
There is customer support numbers, so you can call and talk to people over the phone. But generally, all of your purchasing and your service agreements and stuff, all that is done signing up online.
Okay. And we're at a point now where a lot of people have had cell phone service. And if you're not a problem child and you don't have to call for support, or you don't need to go in and kind of see this guy time after time for his problems, you're kind of self-sustaining.
Right.
You're fine with dealing with things on your own.
And there's FAQs all over their website. There's a lot of information there. They've done a lot to make everything easy to do online.
Yeah.
They even, some devices, if you're looking at an Apple device, for instance, do an eSIM.
Okay.
So you can, if you have your device, you can sign up for service and be going that day without having to wait for them to send you an actual SIM card.
Nice.
So there are some options for even that, so you can have instant service and not have to wait on anything shipped to you.
Cool. So last question. It's hard out there, man. Money is tight. Inflation's high. Gas prices. Trying to save a couple bucks.
Yep.
Is there anything that I can do through Pure Talk that's going to help me save a few bucks?
So they don't really have any deals or discounts on your monthly service. Your monthly service is kind of stripped down to about as low as they can get it to still make money. They're a business.
Sure.
But what they will do is they will offer occasional discounts on devices.
Okay.
So if you're coming to them with service and you need a device, If you sign up for service, they'll give you, $50 off of handset, certain handsets at different times, depending on, the season and occasional deals. But generally, their monthly service is what it is.
Okay, cool. So that's Pure Talk.
Yeah.
And if you have any more questions or need any more information on them, you can go to their website and learn more about Pure Talk.
Yep.
Thanks, Luke.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.